This video was brought to you by EA Game Changers. Hey guys, it's Ash TV and welcome to the first build that I'm doing for the brand new pack Discover University for The Sims 4. This is probably the most awaited pack at all since The Sims 4 was released. There's a lot of packs that people have been asking for, but this was the one that was like the big one, you know? So I'm really excited that it's out. It hasn't always been my most favorite. There's obviously others that have been. And then, you know, while I think that there are some things that they could have done better or differently or what have you, and there's some features that I am definitely missing, I do think that it's a really great pack, and I think they did a really good job on it. I really love the world. I've seen some people saying the world isn't big enough, and I'm like, are you serious? Like, it's a pretty good sized world. I do wish though that we had some more lots like this lot. I really like that it is squared in with, you know, roads and sidewalks and such. I feel like when I try to do a community lot and it's on a lot that's just all grass and surrounded by grass, it kind of breaks the illusion that it's a community lot. So this is probably my favorite community lot space. I'm also really happy that it's a 20 by 20. We did get several 20 by 15s as well in the pack, and I'm really happy about that because I like smaller builds, especially on community lots. I really prefer smaller build size or lot size. I know a lot of people out there are going to disagree with me because they're those crazy people who love the really, really big builds, but I was very, very grateful for that because I've had some issues in past builds with building what I wanted to because the lots were too big for me. So yeah, I'm really happy that they did that. But this lot is basically a cafe and bookstore lot. It's a lot that I have tried to build a lot throughout The Sims 4. Haha, a lot. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I'm 6, so basically everything is either not funny at all or really funny to me. So yeah. But it's if you want to make it a retail lot, it is usable as a retail lot, but I just kept it as a cafe lot and I didn't put any like cash register or anything on it. But you can definitely change that up if you download it and you want to use it differently. It's definitely possible. Also, while there is a second floor, it's not a usable second floor really, as it is. So you're welcome to change that as well. I just really like it when the lots are small enough that people can congregate and it looks like it's busy when there are people there. I'm a huge fan of that. So that's another reason that I like smaller lots because it really helps with that. I used to build a lot of pubs and stuff in The Sims 3 when I would make my own worlds, and that was just something that I grew into really loving. So I've tried to continue that with Sims 4, but again, with the larger lot sizes, it's kind of difficult for me to do that. But this one, I really like it. There was one in The Sims 3 that came with University that was kind of like this, where it was a cafe and like bookstore or something like that, and you could go through the wall, if I'm remembering right. Like you could go through the archways to get to the other side, and so it kind of reminded me a little bit of that when I was building it. But I wanted to keep the whole kind of European style. I have never used this floor ever, the little tiling right there, but it just was the first floor that I tried to use, and it ended up being perfect. I actually pre-built this a little bit, not completely, but I kind of was trying to figure it out so that I saved myself some time. And yeah, I felt like it fit really well. So it's always really funny when that happens with base game items that you never look at before, and then you find one and you're like, oh, this is awesome. How did I not know this was here? Or why have I never used this before? So yeah, I really, really like it. And it's got definitely like a European feel to it, kind of a vibe, but it's also really, I don't know, like I wanted to put a ton of college memorabilia in there, but I just was like, I don't really want people fighting each other, or I don't know. I kind of wanted to keep it a little bit neutral, so I decided not to do that. But it is definitely, obviously, a good college town space. I clutter up a lot with study items and computers, so that even if you go in there and there's no one on the lot, it's gonna look like it's busy. But when Sims actually sit down to eat, or grab a drink, or just chat, it does look like they have brought their books and laid them out on the table, and they're in the middle of studying or doing a paper or something like that. So that was definitely one of the vibes that I was really going for with this, and I think that I did that pretty well. It's a little less so in the bookstore, but the cafe is definitely, obviously a popular study spot. So I really liked, I love the little flower pots that came with Discover University, but I just felt like these worked better for a cafe kind of a feel. So yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of those, actually. I use them a lot. I really love those flowers. They're so pretty. But here I am just kind of trying to, I'm trying to clutter up the space, but also not make it unusable. So if a Sim sits there, it's not like they're going to have a, packet of a scone or something, like, sitting in their books, because that would look weird. So and this is one item. You know how you have some items where you feel like they should be able to go on a table, and then some items that don't? The book bag, I guess I just have never felt like it belongs on a table, but I don't know. Maybe some people actually put theirs on a table when they use it. I don't know. Mine is on the floor. Mine is leaning up against the wall. And then this is another thing that I really like to do whenever I make a cafe. I love having a little station to doctor up your drink, add a little bit of creamer, maybe some sugar, maybe get, a dog treat for your doggy, some paper towels, things like that. I actually end up changing it later on because while I like the round table and it's different, I just tend to like using one of the sidebar kind of a tables. So I end up changing that later, but I actually do kind of like that there. So, oh wow. Okay, I tend to try to cut out the little scrolly bits where I'm looking around at everything like a crazy person, because it makes me dizzy. And if it makes me dizzy, I'm sure there's some of you that it makes dizzy. So I'm actually a little bit shocked that those are still in there, but that's fine. It can be really, it's just, I don't know how the people who make like a video every week or so, like every, a few videos a week, do it. It's so time evolving. Basically how I do it is I record it via Discord. I just screen cap, and then or I record the game or what have you, and then I put it onto my Apple Drive or whatever, my files, whatever it's called, so that it goes onto my phone. And then I use Movie Maker, the Apple Movie Maker on my phone, to create the video and cut out parts and speed it up and things like that. And then I put it back on the Apple Drive, and then I play it on the computer and screen cap it again with Discord. And then I do the voiceover while I'm doing that, obviously. And then I might well, usually I put it back on my phone and I add music, but this time I think I'm going to actually try to use the YouTube Studio. I've never used it before, so hopefully it won't be that bad. I don't know. I'm kind of freaking out because this is way later than I meant to do it. Last night I was sick, and so it was like right when I was doing my voiceover that I got sick, and so I was being sick for like a couple hours, and then by then I had to actually work on an outline for school, so I didn't have time to do the voiceover. And then today I had 2 doctor's appointments, and then they canceled class, so I went and changed into pajamas and went back to bed because I was so exhausted from being sick and everything. And then I woke up and I'm doing my voiceover, so yeah, there you go. I don't know that you asked for that, but it's there. Anyway, this is the bookstore that I'm working on. So there is a bookshelf that you can grab books from. You can also replenish it. I need to, like, I don't know, make bookshelves that have all the skill books. I tried looking for that on the gallery, someone who just made a room with just books full of those skill books. But there's only that one base game one that looks like a library bookshelf, but it doesn't have very many swatches. So I was like, okay. So I'll probably do that later. But for now, you can grab books from there, and then it just kind of looks like, there's shelves that you can purchase books from, and there's like school books and things like that. I really liked having kind of a space where you could sit together. Maybe there's a reading club or a book club that meets, and they sit in there, grab some scones, and go take up the seats. And then the sidebar behind these 2 chairs, I end up putting things on it, like maybe they had a new book coming out, or they're just trying to put some focus on some books that don't sell very often, or maybe the new school year is starting, so they want to put out some books that people will need to buy, so it's more accessible. So that's kind of what the idea is there. And I did want to make it look a little lived in. I end up putting postcards and such, which I guess I kind of was thinking like old students. That's kind of something that they might have done if they liked the person who owned the bookstore, or they were helpful, oh, I'm graduating, okay, well, send me a postcard, that kind of a thing. So I ended up doing that over there over the counter. But here I am placing some of those books. I was gonna put them all over, but then I decided just on the bottom is fine. It's easy. And then I just end up putting a little bit of decor up there. But yeah, I end up really liking it. I have played this, and it works really well. The bookstore doesn't get super cluttered. People tend to stay more in the coffee shop, which I was a fan of. That's kind of what I was going for, so I'm really happy about that. And they can reach the tables and everything. They can reach the chairs. They can take a seat. I think I actually end up moving a couple of the tables right there, just so that they're more accessible. But yeah, it works really well, and it's easy to get to the cafe counter for the employees. There's actually a back entrance, and I did that because I hate it when the Sims go behind the counter and hang out. So I was hoping that would maybe encourage them to stay out from behind the counter. And so far it has. I haven't seen any Sims go in the back way. They haven't gone behind the counter. They've just kind of stayed up front. So I'm really, really happy about that. I don't know how it worked out, but it did. It's like pretty much perfect for where they hang out and everything. There are stairs that go upstairs. That's funny, to the 2nd floor. But it's very closed off. And they aren't really, there's nothing to do up there. It's just a little hallway with some storage space, basically. So I ended up putting like the trunk of books up there and, you know, some boxes and things like that. And I'm just trying to figure out here what bookshelf I want. And I think I end up putting like a frog on the bookshelf or something. And this other bookshelf that came from Discovery University, that's in the very back, you can see back behind the counter. I love that thing. It looks like something you would find like in a library, I don't know, restricted section or something like that. I just think it's really nice looking. I'm so sorry that I'm yawning, guys. I slept for like several hours today after I got home, and I'm like still so tired. I don't even know how. Don't you hate that? It's so annoying. But yeah. Oh, I forgot that I put the typewriter there. Oh, that's cute. And then some like tea bags and things. So it's kind of a continuous area. Maybe that shelf is actually the cafe's bookshelf, or like, you know, items sale shop shelf thing, or maybe it's the bookstore and they just have some little treats that you can buy, you know. So yeah, I really liked that. I wanted to use more Discovery University items in here, but I'm aware that I didn't use a whole ton. But I think that is one of the things like about it. I feel like there's, what is that? Yawn number 6, number 7. It's okay. But I feel like this world works with a lot of other packs, and I actually really like that. A lot of people are like, oh, they're not unique, but I like it when I can pull things together. There's several packs that are really unique that go really well together. I feel like Laundry Day goes really well with Island Living. It's got kind of like that laid back, kind of funky vibe. So I really like that. And, you know, all the Windenburg stuff and a lot of the cats and dogs stuff goes really well with the Discover University items that are a little bit more, you know, classic and traditional. But then we also have these really modern items that came with Discovery University. Not as many, which is good, but I really like them too. Kind of has an IKEA feel, I felt. So I was a really big fan of that. And here you see I'm adding even more postcards. You know, maybe we had someone from Appaloosa Plains. Dear God, please give us a world like that. I loved Appaloosa Plains. That is probably my favorite world that they've ever made, which is really interesting because it's not really a place I would love to live. It's not really, I don't know, just something about it that I think that was when I really got into gameplay in The Sims 3, like a whole lot more than I ever had before. And I think that might also be when I started really curbing my CC use, was when, you know, pets came out and we got Appaloosa Plains. All of like my legacies and everything, they always lived in Appaloosa Plains. Just something about it. It just was a really, really great world. So I love putting the postcard in there. I'm really glad they gave us postcards from different areas or different worlds in the past Sims games and not just the current ones. Which makes sense because when you watch the TV, you know, there's the Sims 3 people on the TV. So I don't know. I wonder if they look weird to the Sims. Like if the Sims actually could think, if it would be like, why do they look funky? Or if they just look the same to them that they do. Does that make sense? It probably doesn't make sense. It's fine. And then here I was just trying to figure out some cool posters, and then I think I end up, well, I was thinking that I put the book posters. Oh no, I put these. That's right. So it's like, you know, maybe there was an author in town that published a book. Maybe there was something from the school that was published. So something like that. I love this little magazine rack as well. I can't remember what that comes with. I want to say Get to Work, but I could be completely wrong. but I thought that it worked really well. And I tend to use it a good bit, I think. Also, I love that we have this little shelf on the back of this little corner love seat thingamabobby. I always forget that they have those, so I don't use them a whole lot. But then I was like, oh wait. And I love putting that little soccer photo right there. But I wish that we had another version where they were wearing green, because then it would look like it was the Britechester team, maybe, you know? Like, I can just see it, someone from Britechester coming in like, why in the world do you have this here? What in the world? What, you don't like our soccer team? Really? Do you have a problem with our soccer team? So, yeah, to avoid any of that, it would be very useful. But yeah, I'm just kind of cleaning up the outside. I don't know how much of the outside I actually show you guys. I think I cut some of it out. But I really like how it looks like two separate locations, even though you can access both of them on the inside. It just works so well. I just am really happy with this because, as I said, I have tried to build this lot several times and it just has never really worked that successfully, but it's really great. I'm also trying to build a pub, and I was kind of modeling it off of this one pub in our city, which is a really popular like Irish pub called Connolly's, and it's just a really cool space on the inside, but I think I might actually end up having to change it up because it's just a little bit dark. So yeah, I don't know, but I wish that we had another lot like this where it's squared in with all the stone and everything, because I was trying to build on the other lot that's kind of opposite this one on the map in Gibbs Hill, and it's just not quite doing it for me, so I'm a little irritated about that, but it's fine. I really hope that like one day we get an update for more like ground terrain that matches the terrain that we don't get in the packs, because I mean, one, I love them and they all look great, but also just it can be a little wonky sometimes to make it look like the lot belongs if the stuff is too different, and you can't always use just like any terrain or any tiling or whatever. Sometimes they don't really go, you know? So like with both the build that you're doing and the road or the sidewalks. So yeah, I don't know, but it's fine. I'm really glad though that they put in smaller lots, because I've been really wanting that. Oh, here I am. Yeah, so I'm changing it up so we have like the sidebar instead of just the little round table. And of course we have the trash bin right here. And I don't really use that poster a whole lot, but I ended up really liking it in here. And that water jug I placed because a lot of the times if you go into like a cafe or something, they'll have a little jug to the side with water and then like cups next to it, so that you don't have to actually order a thing of water. You can just grab a little cup while you're sitting there with, you know, your coffee or your you know, whatever treat that you got. My husband and we actually did that. We just went in and grabbed a treat from Barnes & Noble Starbucks for our anniversary. It was our 4th anniversary, November 1st. And I'd been sick, so I didn't really want to go get anything really big. So we actually we were going to go see Terminator, Dark Fate, yeah, which was really good, actually. I actually really enjoyed it. But I was like, I just want to get something little. Can we just go like walk around Barnes & Noble or something and just get a treat? So we ended up, I got a scone. I think he got a cinnamon bun, and I just got a tea, and it was this really good like spice tea. I don't even remember what kind it was, but it was very delicious and very, very flavorful. So yeah, it was just really nice to sit there and grab a bit. But I noticed usually they have a jug of water and some cups next to it, and they didn't this time. So I was like, oh, okay, all right. So I had to go buy a thing of water, which I don't mind. But I don't know. It's just they didn't have a lot of options for like plastic free or something like that. So I was like, oh. But yeah, it was just really nice to go in there and sit, which is something that I don't get to do a whole lot often. Just, you know, go to a bookstore and sit and have a treat. I used to do that a lot, especially with my mom when I was growing up. We would, she was a voracious reader as well, and we would just go like to Barnes & Noble or another bookshop and just sit there and grab something to snack on and get a couple of books and look through them and, you know, see which one we wanted to buy. So that was always really fun. So it kind of has sentimental things for me too, I guess. And yeah, if you've never done that, try it. I mean, it's just really, it's a nice feeling to just go in and sit tight and read or do some work on your computer. Maybe build some Sims builds and record it, and just grab a few treats, something like that. But yeah, I think I'm pretty close to done with the outside. I don't know. I kept going back and forth with stuff, but actually I do end up putting a bookcase thingamabobby outside the bookshop, and I think some florals or something like that. The roof, for a second I wasn't sure what I was gonna do, but then once I started putting it down, I was like, oh, I don't mind that. Usually I like to cover the whole roof or not at all. Like I'll just do a flat roof, but this actually worked out pretty well with how the other roofs looked like in the world. And I think that's something that that's a tip that I tried to give pretty. Oh wait, do I cover the whole? Oh, I do cover it. Okay, all right. Oh, that looks nice. Okay, all right. Well, that works well. But yeah, that's definitely a tip that I try to give when people ask, like, you know, how should I do like florals, or how should I do the roof or something like that? And I always say, look at the ones in the area around them, and that can really help guide you. You know, use the kinds of flowers they have out in the world, use the kinds of roofs they have out in the world, you know, if you're wanting to make it blend in with the area outside. The same with the you know, stones for the flooring, which this stone actually worked out really well. It almost looks blended in a little bit. I really liked it. So, you know, just play with different things, see how you can match it. Yeah, and it usually is, you know, not anything too big, but sometimes it can be something that you don't usually use. So something that I did not do with the flooring this time, which I usually do with stone flooring, is if it's able to, without affecting the pattern and direction of the stones, I like to kind of fill out the stone on the lot and then replace it by moving the direction of the stones around so that the pattern isn't, you know, super obvious. So it looks a little more messy and stuff. And I didn't do that this time, but I usually do. And here I'm just trying to do a little, almost like a closet kind of a thing, like a, you know, cleaning and extra napkins and things like that. If someone wants, you know, a napkin and salt and pepper holder, or, you know, something. So I ended up, I was trying to do different shelves and try to figure out, but I think I actually ended up just doing 2 shelves here, I want to say. Yeah, so it looks a little more cluttered. And there we go with the spinning. This right here, the eggs and stuff, I don't know if those will go bad. I actually just realized that I didn't test them. So I guess we'll see. But I have been playing this lot a lot. I really like taking my student. I made one named Julia, and I like her a lot. I don't know if I will end up playing her tomorrow during the stream, or if I'll make someone else, but I'm not sure. But anyway, here are the screen caps. I hope that you enjoyed the video. And if you have any questions about the pack, don't hesitate to ask. I'll probably do a giveaway soon. And of course, we'll be streaming tomorrow. And then also this weekend at DreamHack, but not The Sims, probably Overwatch. But yeah, thank you so much. I hope that you guys really enjoy the pack. And I hope you have a great weekend. And yeah, just eat well, sleep well, and treat yourself right, all right? Have a good one. Bye.